and it's been such a pleasure. Like every single poem is so well crafted. It just makes me fall in love with all of you, with all of your work. I just want to follow and read more and more of everything you do. Um, Obviously, the Poetry Lighthouse is not just me. There are loads of volunteer editors behind, which you may have encountered in the editing stages of submissions, um, as well as in other prizes, and so it's a wonderful team. I'm very, very grateful to have such an amazing team and a community that cares about poetry. And well, this wouldn't have been able without them because they also are the judges of today's prizes. And so, yeah, I'm just very happy. I'm sorry for rambling. I'm just so excited to start listening to all of your poems tonight. And I just want to say, I really wish everybody could get the prize because everyone here deserves winning the prize. You are all shortlisted for a reason, and we just absolutely adored your poems. From a list of more than 100 poems, your poems made it to the shortlist. So congratulations already. Well, first of all, I would like to invite Alan from last year. He was the first place winner of last year's prize. So he's just going to say a few words for all of you to get inspired.
Yeah. Hi, Erwin. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
can hear you.
fantastic. Congratulations, everyone. Um, I know you're on tenterhooks. Listen, just enjoy the moment. It's a wonderful celebration, and it's a beautiful thing just to continue to write poetry and other pieces and so on. So it's a prestigious list, and you've done so well just to get onto this list. Congratulations to Erwin and your team. I know what work goes into all of this as well, so that's quite incredible. And regardless of things, the outcome of all the rest of it is just a joy to be part of the whole experience. And that's what I found with all of my communication with Erwin and the team. They're incredibly supportive, very professional, very caring, and honest, and a super editorial team. You know, they certainly helped me through everything else, and it's great just to continue that communication. So I would say to everyone, just keep the wagon rolling and keep enjoying. Okay, I'm going to read my poem from uh, which received first place last time round. So it's called Your Dappled Yellow Hair. I first fell for your dappled yellow hair, gold and pine and shoulder soft, fine and fair and speckled silk, cream and lemon and mushroom, boastful buttercups in fullest sunlight, sumptuous ochre, mustard and tan, bashful egg yolks in flashing sand, buff ivory and starving flame, honey rich and chickpea yellow, daffodils bursting in glorious sun, spring and summer and barley corn, meet and dance and melt and sleep through your dappled yellow hair. So I can't wait to hear all of your poems. Um, I'm sure they'll be incredible. So congratulations to everyone, and congratulations to Erwin and your team.
Thank you very much, Alan, for that amazing speech and for that beautiful reading of your poem. Yes, I really love that poem. And well, without further ado, I think we're going to start with the readings. I'm so excited. Okay, so the first presenter of the readings is going to be Zahana Bar. She is one of our editors at the Poetry Lighthouse. So if you are there, Zahana, could you please introduce yourself and just like start presenting the names of the readers?
Hey everyone, so nice to meet you. I can see some familiar faces and names. Okay, so we begin with the first set of recitals. And please forgive me if you know, pronounce the names wrongly. So at first we have Helen Scadding with her poem, All the Men Who Left.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. And thank you for that lovely start and that beautiful poem that you've just read, Alan. That was a really lovely beginning to the evening. So my poem is called All the Men Who Left. All the men who left. Mr. America. She's on an interstate bus watching a half moon rise into the corner of the window. Her fingers itch with sweat. She sold 2 pints of blood for the ticket. She was going to marry Mr. America. He changed his mind. Everyone can change their mind. And hadn't they all said she was just his little bit of English? She'll wait all day at the airport to go home to where it is not home. She'll be sad for a long time. He'll leave her a cassette of love songs. She'll marry someone else. She'll remember the bus. Sometimes she'll remember the moon in a dirty window. Mr. Scotland. He ran with the horses once a year, legs so long they almost buckled. He had a blue Suzuki 500 and a tartan. She'll remember the cold, sleeping in a red Renault, police knocking on misted windows, a too thin duvet in a high-ceilinged room. He'll leave her the LPs and the car. She'll remember hardly breathing in the week before he went, being careful not to touch his freckled legs, downy with ginger. Mr. Coventry. They cut him almost in half to save him. It worked for a year. At first, she'll remember nothing. Then she'll remember the sky threatening rain. A slow walk, stopping at each bench. Rain nestled in the hollows of his clavicles. He was all bone. Much later, she'll remember the songs in the Earlsdon cottage. The sea at Sidari, dancing with phosphorescence. The scrape of metal loops as a doctor closed a blue curtain. Thank you.
Wow, that was indeed very fascinating. We all loved it, we can say for sure. Next up, we have Patrick Dealey, The Engines of War.
My poem is called The Engines of War. My uncle hung the gas mask on a rusty nail in his shed. Years later, I found it, a skullish nightmare, a goggling thing that seemed neither alive nor dead. World War I standard issue, its hose dangling idle, the air filter box with the granular mix of chemicals meant to naturalize toxic fumes, gone missing. Had it seen action? Had it saved a life? My uncle wouldn't say. Outmoded, even in my childhood, as the rubbery strap tails that clung to its head. It cuddled a sour smell, pinched and itched and creaked unsettlingly. I wondered what little use it would be if I lay huddled, the shriek of a falling bomb piercing my ears, the scald of poison skinning me alive, or a missile bursting through concrete. The engines of war still advance their wizardries. Today, a new spell is conjured up, a gadget named after a sweet-smelling garden flower, an executive of ruin, unclouded by conscience or mercy, designed to establish our value through a soft shuffle of its circuitry and apportion the quality of kill we deserve. Smart bomb or dumb, after determining to its own satisfaction the guilt or risk carried by any or all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can believe that was really, really breathtaking. I loved it so much. Thank you so much. Next, we have Mara Adamit's group with her poem, And at the Risk of Being.
You skipped
Oh.
David Punter.
Is that right? Do we need to step back or
That's
I think
all
so.
right.
proceed? Okay. Yeah, I'm Mara Adamet Scrupe, and my poem is based in a place in the world that many of you I know have heard a lot about recently. I was born and raised in Minnesota. And this poem, interestingly, while it doesn't address the issues that are at hand today, seems sort of relevant in many ways to what's happening in that part of the world. And at the risk of being. And at the risk of being other, entirely unexposed, as animal confined to open plains and arid stores, this West, this continent. In earliest historical records, is it coyotes or wolves, written by local priests who called them less than daring? And speaking of howls and concealments, scant seen yet noted by French traders in the territory called Minnesota Makoche, by Dakota, meaning land where the waters reflect the sky. Be bands of 10 or 12 of these boring dogs, somewhere between fox and wolf, inhabitants of open prairies at some pass or place, much frequented by game, assembling as pack and truss, unable to singly take down a deer or a goat. Oh, the eyes, oh, of piercing sea green, the rarest found always in every pup, or in the pink-gray DNA of my blue vein coloring. I come from the dun and silver pool. I would be, could be this creature, come as still water as a northern lake at dawn, rippleless, as below zero smoke float, straight up in the bluest blue limerence of my childhood. And a cottage and a backhoe and earth movers roil the blackest prairie soil of farmland excised for rehabilitation, for modern suburban low-lying bungalows with big backyards and swing sets. And gales buffet the doors and windows, squeak and shudder, and I think of a mammal nicknamed prairie wolf, couched contentedly in some badger's former foxhole, teased and pestered, regardless of smallish boulders and broken slate slabs. Today, there they stay in residence under our floorboards, and we under their consequence, despite how much smarter we are than they. And that single row of trees, purposefully planted at the fringe of the slough, side to side, attenuate, perfecting resistance in Empyrean squall. Thank you.
That was a very delightful reading. It was lovely. Thank you so much for sharing your poem with us. Next up, we have David Punter with his poem, The Ballad of the Golden Talon.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Erwin, and all of your team for preparing this amazing feast of poetry. The Ballad of the Golden Talon. As I went out one good morning, my coat as bright as day, I fell upon a gold talon, all in a field of clay. I said, I know no chanty could tell me what to say on finding such a golden find on an ordinary day. The hare came over meadow, he came down yonder hill, he had a thing to tell me, though it would do me ill. He said, this golden talon is the mark of sore despair. Its air of gold hides the taint of mould, and you should sure beware. I held the golden talon. I thought, what can it be in the world's design, in the twining vine that has designs on me? In the realm of the silver raven, where I am pleased to dwell, secluded far, though with door ajar, who could not wish me well? I looked more closely upon the world, that sphere of green and blue. I saw horror and I saw poverty, of every dread type and hue, and I thought this golden talon is the only way to save my sorry misunderstandings from a cold and desolate grave. But even then I was thinking only of the sainted me. The sun was high, but with a sigh I made a plaintive plea. How can I come to the thunderous void, where all will be made plain by those whom I have sore annoyed, that matters may not be in vain? I stared at the hare, and he at me. I saw impatience in his eye. You are full of human puffery, he said, which is difficult to deny. So seize the golden talon, plunge into the thunderous sea, and you may assuage the wide world's rage, at least to a certain degree. So I've tried that, and it didn't work well. I'm alone on a wide, wide sea, with a sinking raft in a terrible draught, with no one for company, except for the hare. But he is not there to anyone else but me. And so I think, as I swim or I sink, did the talon not make me free? As I walked out in the open air, I saw a crow whipped back by the wind, and I thought, is this the everywhere, by a wild force unpinned? How can I see? By what can I swear when the talon is buried and gone? Is there some way I am meant to tear life from the living swan? Come all you youths of summer, desist from your callow play. Don't punish this late comer on a brightening, startling day. Consider all your talon. It rips with careless glee, but it can bless and give caress, can hold or grasp or free. Thank you.
Very beautiful. It was so beautiful. Thank you so much. So next up we have Claire Cohn with the poem To the Minister in My Men's Rehab Writing Group.
Thank you. To the minister in my men's rehab writing group. You read truth aloud with a preacher's boom, Wiped an eye as you shared your simile for shame. The other men kept tearing up too. Then you described tears as the holiest water to save your soul from the coconut rum. As fluorescent lights buzzed above us, you took us to that Sunday at Shiloh Baptist Church when the Lord raised you up on eagle's wings the year before the infamous flood, the fall from grace, the tumble from the pulpit. Reverend, ever since I heard your story, I keep thinking of the time when Jesus wept. I've lost so much religion since I was a kid, but there you were, turning wounds into words, and I'm a believer in something again.
Wow. That was once again a very beautiful poem, so realistic and touching at the same time. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Elizabeth Hill with her poem Dialysis.
Hey, it's great to be here and hear all of this poetry. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. So this is my poem, Dialysis. I rush to reach you, Dad, but the bus creeps along. I eat your cookies all day. There's nothing else to do. You tell the story about Andrew again. I don't know how many times. You nap all afternoon in your favorite chair. I eat your cookies all day. There's nothing else to do. It's Thursday. You play bridge with Jackie, Frank, and Sylvia. You tell the story about Andrew again. I don't know how many times. You go to bed at 8. It's Thursday. You play bridge with Jackie, Frank, and Sylvia. The Red Sox lost again. You go to bed at 8. You cannot remember when Mom died. So many other things. The Red Sox lost again. You can't find your glaucoma eye drops. You can't remember when Mom died. So many other things. You resist the cane, the walker. You can't find your glaucoma eye drops. You can no longer see to do the crossword. You resist the cane, the walker. Your arthritis stabs you in the shoulders. You can no longer see to do the crossword. You lurch down the halls, bloody from falls. Your arthritis stabs you in the shoulders. You refuse dialysis for your kidneys. You lurch down the halls, bloody from falls. Your back, throbbing, can't unbend. You refuse dialysis for your kidneys. I rush to reach you, Dad, but the bus creeps along.
Wow, thank you so much. It really touched our heart. So realistic. We could all relate at least something in our lives with it. Next up, we have the last but not the least, Mariam Saidan. Does it upset you? Um, I think you need to unmute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Does it upset you? I have been woman for a long time. Youth was fragile, scary at times, not adjustable to the shape I was becoming. Misunderstood I was, out of mind, troubled, when I didn't quite like the safety of home, control, or harassment. I died many deaths, each time returning with a new survivor in me. Fear no longer suited me. I have grown into a 1,000-year-old tree. They cut a branch, take a leaf, it grows back. It always grows back. Try and take the sun out of day. There are birds living in me, one always sings, and a fox curled up on the shed, just a stone's throw away in my garden, looks at me. Under my living room, where I keep vases in different shapes and colors, painted and filled with wild flowers, there is a cellar, and below that, an ocean pounding. With every tide, I become water, offending waves, dramatic drops. vast freedom, bewildering imagination. There is no end to this thirst. I'm not scared of pain. It makes things interesting. My eyes sometimes look into yours, but no, not asking to be touched. I'm here to live this life like no one but the woman I have become. I am not ashamed to drown in this sea. Thank you.
That was once again a very beautiful poem. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
So those are some lovely poems that we came across today. This is the end of the first set of recitals, and I hand over this to Erin to further proceed with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahana, and thank you everyone for reading those beautiful poems. I was in awe with all of them. Very beautiful, lyrical, and poignant in so many ways. All right, so we're going to have a little break, but don't log out. You can stay here. I'm just going to run through some announcements for the Poetry Lighthouse. If all of you have been shortlisted, which means you will appear as well in the third volume of the Poetry Lighthouse anthology. So far, we've had two previous anthologies, which contain poems that were published with us and were curated by our editors. So congratulations, because regardless of whether you win or not, you will be featured in this new anthology, which will come out in February, so pretty soon. Also, if you can, help us, we run as a volunteer publishing house, which means that all of the money that we get from, whether it is from the books or from all of the donations, go directly into funding the prices, into keeping the website running, and all of the things that we need for the editing. So thank you very much for all your support. It is because of you and all of the community in the Poetry Lighthouse that we have been able to carry on with the poetry prizes and as well carry on with our normal publications on the website. So you can buy your copies on the website, or you can also go to Barnes& and Noble, Amazon, Waterstones, Foils, or your independent publisher and independent bookshop and request a copy. So yeah, you can start your collection and it'll have different colors. So in perhaps like 10 more editions, you will have a rainbow of colors of all of our poetry collections, which would look really nice on the shelves. Right, and also we have upcoming releases. There's very exciting books coming up these few months, which are You and I in a Partly Conservation Pit. Then we have a bilingual collection by Sophia Perez called Burning Shadows. Then we have a record play alive by Rachel Turney. And then we have a collection of poetry in translation, which is called the World Poetry Around the World, which will be, in which we'll gather loads of poets around the world and in different languages. So it's going to be a very interesting experience to read it. Right now, we have already published Only One Earth, which if you follow the Poetry Lighthouse, you might have seen it already. You can also buy it anywhere around the world, whether it is in Barnes & Noble, Amazon, on Waterstones, Foils, and independent bookshops as well. So yeah, this is the way you can support the Poetry Lighthouse. Every little bit helps a lot to maintain what we do for poetry. All right, and so let's continue with the second round of readings. I'm having such a good time listening to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And so now I'll yield the floor to Freya, who is another editor at the Poetry Lighthouse. So I don't know if you are there.
Yep.
Awesome. Gonna stop sharing. Okay.
Thanks very much. If I get your name wrong when I announce you, please do let me know so I can correct it. First reading, we've got Jonathan Fletcher, first time at the Guggenheim.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sahana. Thank you, Freya. My poem is entitled First Time at the Guggenheim. I've heard that if your 4-year-old can draw it, then it must not be art, which I've never believed. But even if it's true that little fingers dirtied with different colors could fill a canvas or twist thin wire into relatively simple geometric figures, then so what? And though no 4-year-old is waiting for me to come home, my MFA thesis often feels like a baby, the way it cries when neither critiqued nor revised. And now as I curl around the museum, ascending past Monet and Degas, Gauguin and Matisse, Rothko and Lewitt, I pause and gaze at Calder's red lily pads above, and watching them move with the currents of air, am reminded of the planetary mobile that used to hang above my crib, and am once again small and floating, fingers ready to grip the clown red leaves, and light and giggly, feeling as big as art. I look over all, refusing to come down. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That was really lovely. Next up, we have Christopher Lloyd, Abecedarian in Love.
Hello, thanks everyone. I'm just going to try and share my screen so that you can see it. Can you see that? Yeah? Oh, good. Great. Okay, this is Abecedarian in Love. Apophasis is a device whereby one brings up a subject by denying it should be discussed. Conveniently, in this case, I do not have to say the thing. Deep in my muscle tissue are heartbreak and generational excuses for apathy. I am waiting for you to say it first, because inevitably I will get carried away. When you hold my wrists at night, checking for a pulse, it is hard not to split the skin open and say, here, take me, it is yours. Listing all the men I have been in bed with jumbles my chronology, tests my affinity for remembering names. I would kill anyone that came between us. Let me tell you something I learned this morning. Matisse orbits Jupiter faster than the planet's own rotation. I am not spiraling, and you are not my axis. But that moon's orbit will eventually decay. It will bond with the planet of abundance, slip into its atmosphere. Quit looking at me like that. I'm almost done. Right now, our own moon is in Capricorn, which means we should stake out our long-term plans. You are my plans. I hope that's clear. There are not enough words to describe your luminosity. Under the duvet, you caress my blood, cannulate my veins with ease. No part of me could be closed to your line placements. When the time comes, we'll mark this date with an X. Yesterday, in a whisper, you laid out your language, and zealously, I said, I do too. Thank you. Stop sharing.
Thanks, that was extremely lovely. I'm gonna hope I've got the pronunciation of this right. Nancy B. Iannucci?
Yes,
Is
Nancy Bird,
yeah.
Iannucci, yep.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm loving to hear the music coming from everyone's poems, which brings me to my poem. This is a golden shovel form poem. And it's each word of a line from a pre-existing poem serves as the end word for each consecutive line of a new poem. So I've taken the line, "You crush the lily in my soul." It comes from Kate Bush's song, "Moving." The title of the poem is "A Seer, a Golden Shovel." I see it all as a seer does now. It was you. I would have laughed at my first apocalyptic crush, the pain I felt as you walked by me like a shadow in the hallway. If I'd had known what I know now, I would have stood like a lily in the sun. I would have moved as she would have in the wind. A pretty face, smiling through thunderstorms, loving my stem, pistil, and toes, knowing they were rooted in your soul. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nancy. I love coming across new types of forms. That's so great. Next up is Satya Bosman with "Last Night I Dreamt I Was Emily Bronte."
Thank you. I've so enjoyed listening to everyone's poems this evening. And thank you, Owen, and the Poetry Lighthouse team for having me. I'm really thrilled to be here. Last night I dreamt I was Emily Bronte, and this is after Emma Connolly Barklam. I was hanging linen on the line, washed the old-fashioned way. I had walked up a steep hill and could survey the valley, unchanged for generations. The wind was in a rage, expressed what I could not. Lines everywhere you can't see, can't cross. There are only a few hours left of the stream. Pinch a loaf from the bakery. Kick a rock, creating an avalanche down the hill. Learn the names of flowers. Wild angelica, flowering rush. Tame a hawk and call him Nero. You might not get another chance, Emily Bronte. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really lovely. I'm sorry, I keep repeating myself. Next we have William Doreski with "Dismal Heights."
Had a little trouble unmuting here. I've participated in a number of these group readings in recent years, probably because of COVID, and I have to say this is by far the best bunch of poems I've heard in any of these readings. It's really quite intimidating. My poem is called "Dismal Heights," and it was not really intended as a parody of Thomas Hardy's Wessex Heights, but maybe it is. I don't know. On dismal heights, the wind blows and gets nowhere, encircling itself with frustration. I often hike up here to enjoy the whirlpool effects, the subtleties and the rage. The excellent view includes steeples exclaiming a dozen villages otherwise shielded by trees. No faith rises to this elevation. No doubts resolve in the vapors that clot the bare peaks at dusk when the last straggling hikers descend. I always arrive around noon, that neutral moment when feelings ebb and quarrels patch themselves over coffee cups and sandwiches. Or so I hope. The day tilts toward the nether regions where skeptics write memos intended to wound. From dismal heights, I detect adulteries plotting and shoplifters grinning over their paltry goods. I won't tell anyone I've seen them, but whiffs of their essence taint even the angry winds of the heights, which otherwise owe us nothing. Thank you.
That was great. I don't know Wessex Heights well enough to know if that's a parody, but it just makes me happy to think it might be. Next we've got Chris Dungy with "The Cheese Sandwich." Yeah, I've got it. I could read it if
Oh,
you
perfect.
really want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Give me a
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Give me a sec. The cheese sandwich wraps its buffer of digestion around my pink generic pill for sadness. 4 slices, white, yellow, and perforated flavors on a queso roll. If rung up by its separate ingredients, it would still be the cheapest meal in our car plant cafeteria. After lunch, I'm smiling, but still trapped in the path of mass production. Acceptance arrives next, even some interest in the nick of time in its Guy Fawkes mask for every indignity. I could almost live this way, never mind the constipation. And we're finishing off with Doug Stoiber. Did I get that right? Is he on as well? I'm pretty sure I saw him on.
I think you
Stoiber?
pronounced it. Yeah.
Okay, Doug Stoiber with 9 Months Collage.
Thank you. And let me say again, it's been an honor to be included with the talented people here today. So very much appreciate the opportunity to read my piece, which is 9-month collage. 9 months ago, beneath the snow, a hibernating seed awaited spring thaw's warm embrace and moisture for its need. When sunlight lingered, longer days called forth its tender shoots and flowers, though 9 months ago it had not even roots. 9 months of war and many more had bled the king's resources. The coffers emptied, just to lose so many men and horses. His kingdom's lands and treasures, once the envy of his foe, they were no more. 9 months of war had struck a crushing blow. 9 months ago he fled, although his crime was yet concealed. But hours later, passers-by spied something in a field and called police to scrutinize the grim, unmoving shape. He came to woe 9 months ago. They thwarted his escape. 9 months ago, I said quite so to New Year's invitation to change my ways and save my soul from ruinous damnation. With champagne breath and bleary eyes, I vowed to give up drinking. How could I know 9 months ago I'd yield? What was I thinking? 9 months at sea, adrift are we and not on the horizon. With shattered mast and keel sheared, we shield our bloodshot eyes and condemn ourselves to measured death, not left of our provisions. How cruel to be at 9 months at sea, beset by ghastly visions. 9 months and more went by before the awful news was learned. Just 4 years old, last seen with strangers, never she returned. In town, our hushed and whispered tones of worry now subside. We waited for 9 months and more to learn just how she died. 9 months and counting, pressure mounting. Can we make a year? Despite our current tit for tat, we love each other, dear. It's not so smooth for newlyweds, I think we'd both agree. We have 9 months and counting to our anniversary. 9 months have passed, exceeding fast for people of my age. We see the pouring grains escape the upper glass and rage against the dying of the light. A year 3/4 gone. And so these last 9 months have passed, our shadows longer drawn. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks so much. A friend of mine recently commented there's so much of a difference between when you read poetry versus when poetry is read to you. And I think things like this really like show off that massive change. So I'm going to hand you back to Erwin now.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Again, such amazing readings. I cannot even digest everything right now. It's one good poem after another good poem after another one, all with different shades and color and textures and sounds. The music of it, it's just incredible. It just makes everything resound in this room that I'm in right now. in such beautiful, beautiful harmony. Thank you very much, everyone. Every single poem here has been chosen because they have something very special, whether it is its craft, its wit, its humor, the way it made us feel. These have been read by all of our judges, which are around 20. So all of your poems have impacted us in many different ways, and I cannot be happier to have you all here together reciting your poems. This has been an amazing event so far, and I just absolutely am in love with the community that we've built together. Thank you for being part of it. It's beyond my, you know, my comprehension. This amazing, we've been able to do this. So, without further ado, I think you all are very excited to hear who the winners are. And just remember, regardless of who wins or not, um, I think we all here because of how much we love poetry, and we have to remember that. All right, so I'm going to share my screen because I have here the announcements. The third place will be presented by Sahana Bar.
So, for the third position, we have Absitarian in Love by Christopher Lloyd.
Congratulations, Christopher. That's a beautiful poem, Vegetarian in Love, not only because of, the contents of it, but also because it has a beautiful, well-crafted layout in which you have very beautifully executed the whole concept of the Abecedarian. So congratulations. Okay, so now we're going to go for the second place, which will be presented by Freya.
And the second place poem will go to Does It Upset You by Miriam Saidan.
Again, many congratulations. This is an incredible poem. I think we were all able to hear how poignant and how much emotion went into this poem. Yeah, which can be read in many different ways. Actually, I really like that about this poem. So congratulations, Mariam. This is incredible. All right, and now for the first prize. Dun, dun, dun. Drum rolls. So the third place goes to Elizabeth Hill with her poem Dialysis. Congratulations, Elizabeth. This is an exceptional poem and it's full of pain, but we have to remember that there's beauty in sharing your vulnerability. And I think this poem does that in a very beautiful and poetic way. So congratulations, Elizabeth, for such a beautiful poem. And well, this concludes our night of prizes. Yes, oh wow, I'm so excited to reread all of these poems again. And I was so glad to listen to all of you reading your poems. It definitely is so much different than just reading it, as Freya has mentioned. So, well, this is all for the evening, but congratulations, everyone. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening. And please, if there's one thing I want to mention before I go, is please keep writing. I really want to read more of your poems and everything you do. These are exceptional works. So just keep on the creativity going and that pen going as well. And yeah, well, I hope to see you all in another event if it happens, or you know, you can all write to me at any time. I'm very happy to talk about poetry and other things creative. So yeah, well, I'm gonna stop rambling because you probably have all the things to do as well. Um, but thank you for coming tonight. It was a real pleasure. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. Thank you. And all the team.
Thank you, Erwin.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Congratulations to the winners.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, congratulations, everyone. Wonderful. Well done.
Thank you. Bye.
Fabulous.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.